Hey everybody, Anyone is here, and we are back in Minecraft. This is not an adventure map. This is not any type of, CTM map or anything like that. We are back in not vanilla, but we are in survival. We are using the ATL Launcher OverLoad pack. It feels so good to be playing again. We're running on 1.6.4, and most of the mods are updated on 1.6.4, and we have pretty much everything we're going to want. We have the new version of IC2. I don't know if it's going to be called IC3 now, or is it still IC2? Either way, we have the beta version of Thermal Expansion 3, which is pretty awesome. We have everything. We have Computer Craft, we have Ars Magica 2, we have Thaumcraft. There's about 182 mods in this pack, and I am happy to be back and playing. I've been waiting for the Feed the Beast update to 1.6.4, and it just hasn't done it. Now, we started this server about a week or two ago, and as you can see, people have already started building and getting things going. And today, I believe today or yesterday or something like that, the Direwolf 20 pack on Feed the Beast is updated to 1.6.2, but I don't care anymore. This ATL pack is pretty awesome, and I'm happy about it. I'm happy to be playing again. I'm happy to be recording again. I'm just happy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, what are we going to do in this series? I don't think I'm going to do the normal Let's Play of, hey, I'm building a house, this is my house. I mean, for anybody who watches any of my other LPs on Minecraft, I'm not really a builder, and that's why I like modded so much. I can play with all the machines and all the different mods and do that stuff. So that's probably what I'm going to focus on. I think my first series, when I did my first Feed the Beast series, I tried to focus it on more of a tutorial type series, where I'd build machines, not necessarily on camera, but some of it on camera, and then I would just explain what they do, how they do, and depending on what it was, like if it was Computer Craft or something like that, I would release it so other people can use, and I definitely plan on doing that again. A couple things that I'm really can't wait to do is get back into Computer Craft. There is a couple projects that I had on the older Feed the Beast, namely my GPS system as well as my media player, that I really want to update. One of the questions I get asked most on my channel is if I can create a version of the media player using nothing but Computer Craft, because when I made it last time, what I wanted to do is just use a nice mixture of different mods. So I believe I used Computer Craft, obviously, but I also used like Red Power 2 and Buildcraft, and this time I'm not going to do that. It's going to be straight Computer Craft. Once that's done, I will release it. There will be a video. You can download the code, yada. One thing worth noting, there is no Red Power 2. I'm not sure if Red Power 2 is dead or their LRM is still working on it. I don't know. But there is no Red Power 2. But it's okay, because a lot of other developers in the community has stepped up and reproduced all the features of Red Power 2, which is pretty cool. So we don't have pneumatic pipes. We don't have the sorting machines, but we have other things that can be used. We have logistics pipes that can really take over for that, and a lot of the new thermal expansion pipes really reduces the need for any of that Red Power 2 stuff. And that's what I started off with. So not really. Okay, so I started off with IC2, and right after I started with IC2, the thermal expansion beta came out and was entered into the mod. So I kind of have a mashup of IC2 and thermal expansion, and that's what we're going to show you in a minute. So, as I said, this is pretty much spawn. Okay, so this isn't spawn legit. I believe spawn is over there by the volcano somewhere, but we've all been building out here, and I think for the most part, most of us plan on just hanging out in this area and building, which is cool. It's nice that we're all going to be together. I plan on doing the same thing. So I really like this mountain right here, and I thought this overhang was really cool. And in my last base, I built into a mountain, and I really like doing that. So I plan on doing that again. If you see up there, there's this little door, a pink door with a heart on it, if you could see that right over there. I don't have Optifine, so I can't zoom in, but that's Parker's house. I don't know why, but he decided to go with a pretty and pink house. Let's just get a little closer to it and you can see it. He kind of decided to move in here at about the same time. Oh, is there no easy way to get up to his house? Oh, okay. Yeah, so you see he used a lot of pink in his house. Has a nice pink door. Yeah, that's Parker. As you can see, he is in this mountain and so am I. It seems like we both decided that we wanted to use this mountain at the same time, but it's okay. Me and Parker are friends. We could share the mountain. The mountain's big enough for the two of us, especially that Parker, what he really wanted this mountain for and why he decided to use this mountain for this is beyond me. But he pretty much has this little, little house right here with a couple machines, but then stairs that go all the way down to, I think, like 12 or something like that. So that's fine. So he's going all the way down, and I plan on using the inside of this mountain. So I plan on making my house similar to what I did on my my last Feed the Beast. Whoa. My last Feed the Beast series on the RMCT Feed the Beast server. So I started digging into one of the walls over here. So first of all, this is going to be like a little courtyard, I believe. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to make this look. I have a couple ideas, but I don't really want to talk about it until I'm ready to start working on that. But this is going to be like maybe a little courtyard, and then there will be a room here, a room there, obviously a room right here. Maybe they'll connect them and go in different places. I'm not 100% sure yet, but that's kind of the idea. So far, let's just get in here. This has been my little cubby hole. And as you can see, I have a smelting system already going. And I'll explain that. But before I do, the first thing I want to point out is this. The Mechanics Workbench. So what is this? This is Thermal Expansion's answer to the old Red Power. Now I don't even remember what it's called. Advanced Workbench or whatever they called it. It's the same thing. So you have these slots right here that you can put schematics, so you can actually save a schematic. And when you actually want to create something, you just put it in here, and it will show you what it is over here, and it will pull from this little area right here. So if I wanted 9 copper nuggets, I could just pull that out of there, and as you've seen, it used up one from there. And then if I want to make this back into a copper ingot, let's just put that in there, and you can pull it out. As you can see, this turns red when there's nothing in it, when you don't have the supplies needed, and you can just hit that to clear it out. Very cool. I did find a bug with this, and it was the same thing in the Red Power 2 workbench, whereas if you use a tool like this, so like let's say I wanted to make, that's not right. Okay, if I wanted to make one of these jammies, if I were to actually pull this out, it would use the whole forge hammer, not just the use of it. So that's definitely something worth keeping note of, and that's why I have a regular crafting bench right next to it, so I don't keep eating up forge hammers and force hammers. I've actually used up a lot of them so far. I've gone through like, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them, just because I keep forgetting and pulling it out of here and wasting it. Anyways, so as you can see here, I have a hodgepodge of 2 different systems. This is a regular generator, as well as a geothermal generator, and that's filling up this bat box right here. This is IC2, some of the new textures. I believe the machines are pretty much the same. The recipes for some things have changed actually dramatically. I'm not sure if that change was from IC2 itself, or maybe like Tinker's Construct or some other mod interfacing with it. But there has been a lot of recipe changes, as well as these pipes right here. And this is one of the new, cool, awesome things that thermal expansion provides. These, everyone remembers liquid ducts from the old version of thermal expansion, which was amazing. I mean, once you started using liquid ducts, there's almost no point of using waterproof pipes from Buildcraft. But these item ducts are like liquid ducts, the same concept. It's the item version of a liquid duct, and you can do some really, really cool things with this. So as you can see right now, I have this set up as an auto smelting system. This is a macerator, this is electric furnace, and then this is where all my ores wind up. So I drop anything into the hopper, it comes into here, the dust flows into here, and then comes out into here. Cool. So what makes these item ducts so awesome? So first of all, there are 2 types of item ducts. Let's just open them up right now. There is opaque, and there is clear. And I guess there's an impulse item duck. I don't know what those are for yet. I'm sure something cool. But there's opaque and there is clear. What's really nice about this, and I'm not sure if this was done on purpose, but the opaque ones are really, really cheap. Now, obviously, they're not as cool as the clear ones. You don't actually see the items go through it. But in my opinion, in some ways, that's actually better, because I always feel like when you actually see the items going through the pipes, it adds a little bit lag to the server. At least not even to the server, to your personal FPS. So I don't mind using the item duck. So what is so cool about them? So the first thing, let's just clear out a hand. The first thing you'll see is these valves or connectors or whatever. You either have blue or red. Red means that it's pulling out of the machine. Blue means it's pulling in. So just like the old ones, you hit it with a wrench, it changes. And just like the liquid ducts, if you hit it a third time, now it's not connected anymore. That in and of itself is really, really cool. But there's more. There's more. What you'll see down here is this red color right here. And man, these guys are going to be so annoying. One of the things about the overload pack is it's made to be very, very hard. So we're using two mods, Zombie Awareness and Inferno Mobs, that make nighttime ridiculously hard. So what you'll start seeing is that there's a bunch of zombies coming out. And you know what? Let's let one zombie in for a second. Come here, zombie. Come on. Okay, now let's close. Oh, damn it. Let's get him inside. Oh, wait. Oh, damn it. So as you can see, I'm about to get beat up. When I got hit, there is blood on the floor. What that means is other zombies can actually smell it. And you can see it on the map in the right-hand corner. Other zombies will actually smell this blood, and they will come for it. So think of the zombie herding mechanic in vanilla Minecraft just taken to the extreme. And that's what zombie awareness is, and it's really cool. On top of that, we have Inferno Mobs. Now, it's worth noting that we had to crank down Inferno Mobs a lot. And the reason being is at night, just standing at my door, you'd wind up with like 5 or 6 or 7 Inferno Mobs. And Inferno Mobs, if you're not familiar with that mod, is very, very tough, difficult boss mobs, for lack of a better word. So the last thing you want is every night having to deal with 100 of them, especially how low we are in resources and tools and all that good stuff. So you're going to have to ignore those mobs for now. I just wanted to bring it up because they are just going to stay out there all night. And you know what? I can't even go to sleep right now because of the mobs, so let's just ignore them. And you know what I'll do? I will bring down that noise a little bit so you can't hear it. So back to this. So what's cool about this? You'll see down here there is that red dot, and you can actually change that red dot from red, green, orange, and then nothing. And what does that mean? Green is considered the vacuum mode, and basically it adds a -1000 to the distance of the pipe. So what does that kind of mean? Let's see if I have any of these pipes left. Item ducts. Okay, so I do. So let's say, okay, so you have these item ducts down. If I had this as red and this as green. Okay, so what this means is this would be closer by -1000. So if I had a machine, we'll pretend this cobble right here are machines. So I had a machine here and I had a machine here. What it would mean is this cobble, this machine right here, is closer to the middle by -1000 blocks than this one is. And for a second, we won't even make that red. So just how this is. So this would be 1 away, and this would be -1000 away. So this block would be closer. Now, if we turn this red, this is considered a dense mode. And basically, it adds 1000 to it. So doing that, and we make this white again, that would mean this is closer to this. This is 1 block away. This is 1000 blocks away. And basically what that is, it's kind of like the restrictive tube will add 1000 from red power adds 100 actually technically to it, and that's what the red does. The red adds 1000 blocks, so this is further than this is. The green adds minuses 1000 blocks, so it makes this closer than this. So that allows you to route things in almost a priority type way, which is really nice. So that is the red and green modes. And then there is also one more mode. And this is actually really interesting. As you can see here, now it didn't work when I had it set on the blocks right here, but it does work here. This is considered round robin mode, and it will only turn on when you're connected to something that ejects things out of the machine. And basically what the round robin mode means, if I had, let's say, another chest here, and I had another item duct connected to this, and this was in round robin, when this, egressed out, it would round robin the items into these two chests. So one there, one there, one there, one there, which is actually really, really cool. I really love the new idea of how this works, and I think that's just awesome. One thing that you can't do, at least you can't do yet, which is kind of annoying, but I'm sure that they will be able to, I know that COF, what are they called now? Team COFH. Right, because King Lemon is no longer, he's part of the team, but he's not leading it anymore. He's taking a step back and letting the team work on this. But one thing that they do plan on adding is facades or support for microblocks. Because if you remember with the old steam ducts, liquid ducts from the old thermal expansion, if you hit, so we'll say right here. Yeah, I guess right here is a good example. See how these tubes are connected? With the old version of liquid ducts, if you actually just hit this with the wrench, they would disconnect. You can't do that anymore. So when you have two item ducts or liquid fluid ducts, they're called now. They're not liquid ducts anymore. If you have any two ducts, we'll say, next to each other, they are going to connect. In a future version of thermal expansion, you will be able to put a micro block in between them so they don't connect. But luckily, with the one more really cool feature, that might not be necessary. So what did we show? We show that you could change these from input, output, or not there at all. Cool, that's very useful. We've shown that you can set these in one of three modes, where this is the dense mode that adds 1,000. This is the vacuum mode that minuses 1,000, and then this is round robin mode. But there is one more really cool thing that you can do with this, and I think this is the most amazing part of the new thermal expansion. If you take everything out of your hand and you actually click on the valve right here, you get into this filtering menu. And now right off the bat, when you look at this filtering menu, there doesn't look to be too much to it until you actually look closer to this. So you have four options right here. The first option is whitelist or blacklist. And basically what that tells you is that whatever filters that you put here is either going to whitelist it, meaning allow things to pass through it, or blacklist it, meaning not allow things to pass through it, which is really, really cool. But then you have these three other options here, what I think is amazing. So you have ignore metadata and use metadata, as well as use or dictionary, ignore or dictionary, and then ignore NBT, use NBT. And what do those things do? Now, one of the most annoying thing with item filters from Red Power 2 is you had a limited amount of slots. So if you needed to route a lot of things, it was really, really difficult to do. Not anymore with these item filters. So we'll start off with metadata. First thing we want to do is, do I have any, let's see, do I have any wool? Wool. I probably don't have any wool. I do. Awesome. Oh, and I have two colors of wool. Awesome. That's a perfect way to show this off. Let's just empty my hand. You have to have an empty hand when clicking on this to get into this menu. So what you'll notice about wool, white wool is item ID 35 with a metadata of 0. And a gray wool is item ID 35 with a metadata of 8. So what this allows us to do is, let's say I put this white wool here. I say whitelist, and then I have ignore metadata. What that means is not only is this going to allow ID 35, which is white wool, but it's also going to allow ID 35 with a metadata of 8. So when I'm ignoring metadata, it will allow anything to pass through with that item ID, no matter what the metadata is, which is really, really cool. So just by having this one wool here, this will filter for every wool of every color. Very, very cool and useful. The next option here is use or dictionary, ignore or dictionary. It is the same concept. So sometimes you'll have multiple types of the same or whatever the case in the game. So what this allows you to do, let's just get back into here. So right now I have lead ore, lead ingot, which is item ID 367, as well as lead ingot item ID 2026. So using the ore dictionary, assuming that the ores are actually registered with the ore dictionary, which any major or popular or smart developer would do. I'm just adjusting my mic a little bit. It will allow the filter to use the ore dictionary. So what that means is when I have just this one lead ingot in there, and as you can see, it says both of them ore dictionary item. They both say that. If I have just this one lead ingot in there, it will allow any lead ingot that's registered with the ore dictionary to come through. So that means if I have multiple types of ores, because, you know, IC2 gives its own ore generation, thermal expansion gives its own ore generation. I think Tinker's Construct does its own ore generation. You can go in there and have to, you know, adjust everything, turn some off, turn some on. But in this case, you don't have to. So now when this item filter is set up, no matter if it's this lead ingot or this lead ingot, it will allow him through without having to put multiple of the same ore into the filter, which is really, really cool in my opinion. And I believe to take it even further, let's just open up. Oh, we can't do that from here. Let's go into NEI. Oh, let's open it back up. We have lead here, and that's item ID 20264. And I believe the way this works, at least for some of them, let's say like thermal expansion, all of their ore generation, you know what? Let's just take a look at this to make sure. Thermal expansion. Okay. So all of their ore generation has the same item ID 20264 with a different meta value. What that means is by just putting we'll take that out there for a second. By just putting this in here and making it ignore metadata and use the ore dictionary, what this means is any thermal expansion ore, whether it's lead, silver, copper, doesn't matter, any thermal expansion ore will come in and be passed through this filter, as well as any other types of lead will come through, which I think is really, really cool way to do it. The last thing is the NBT data. And this would be more for, let's say, with a enchanted book. Let's just pull up some books. Come on. So as you guys know, an enchanted book you can have different types of enchants, and the enchants on the books are saved a little bit different, as well as enchants on weapons and stuff like that. They're saved different. You don't actually have a meta value. It uses a NBT value. So using this here, you could tell it either use NBT or ignore NBT. So what does that mean? This is actually a really good example. Now this has Unbreaking 3 on it. So if I say use NBT data, only golden boots that have Unbreaking 3 enchant on it would be allowed through. If I say ignore NBT data, any gold boots, doesn't matter what enchant is on it, will be allowed through. Very, very, very cool. And then you also have the normal redstone control stuff. So you can make it either ignore redstone. You can make it only activate when you have a low signal or a high signal. Very, very cool. I'm really, really loving this new thermal expansion. And this right here is the new fluid ducts. And as you can see, it has the same idea. It has a filter. Obviously, there's no liquids that are going to have NBT data or an ore dictionary or a meta value, so you don't have those options there. Actually, I guess it could have NBT data. Maybe some fluids do use NBT. I'm not 100% sure about that. But it's the same idea. You could put the fluid in here. You could blacklist it or whitelist it and ignore the NBT or not and use redstone control, which I think is pretty awesome. I don't think this doesn't have the modes like dense, vacuum, or round robin, which kind of makes sense because they're fluid ducts. So that is just scratching the surface of thermal expansion. I really love where this mod is going. I can't really wait. I can't wait to use this a lot more. One more thing that's worth noting about the mechanics workbench, which I think is really actually cool. You can actually lock this to a user because, you know, this is being used as a chest. So you could keep good stuff in here, lock it so nobody else can access it, or you can make it restricted access, which I'm not sure what that means, but I have a hunch that it will probably allow you to give access to some people. Or maybe they will be able to use it without taking your items in here. I haven't played around with it way too much yet, but I think it's really, really cool. And just take a quick look. A lot of things in thermal expansion have changed. Thermal. Oh, yeah, that's fine. A lot of things have changed. So one of the biggest changes of thermal expansion is it no longer uses MJ. Instead, it uses redstone force, which is fine because you have all the same engines you did before. They're not called engines anymore, though. They're called dynamos. You have a steam one, magmatic one, and a compression one. I'm not 100% sure what the compression uses for fuel. But I'm sure we'll find that out a little bit later. So you could still create the RF the same way. But what's really, really cool about this is that if you're using redstone... So when I first heard about this, it kind of made me sad, right? Because one of the things I love doing is creating a... quarry and just plopping down an energy cell next to it. And as you can see, there is a ton of different energy cells now, which is really cool. They hold different amounts of energy. Very cool, using different supplies. But one of the things I was afraid of is when I used to make quarries, I would just plop the quarry down, plop an energy cell down to it, and boom, it's off and running. Now, since thermal expansion doesn't use MJ anymore, it uses RF, I was really afraid that we wouldn't be able to do that anymore. Not to worry. Team COFH have come through, and what the actual energy conduits will do. Let's see if we can actually find one. The energy conduits, you know, the old redstone energy conduits, what they will do is they will automatically convert RF to MJ. So that means if, let's say, you have an energy cell sitting here full of RF and you want to power a quarry, all you have to do is put a redstone energy conduit, because obviously there's different types now. All you have to do is put an energy conduit between the energy cell and the quarry, or any way of generating RF. You just put that conduit between it, and the conduit will be smart enough to automatically convert the RF to MJ, which is awesome. So right now there is no way of converting MJ back to RF, which I don't even think is necessary because it's so much easier and more fun to use the actual thermal expansion stuff, and there's no way to convert to EU. But Team COFH, I don't know why I have such a hard time saying that. I don't even know what it stands for, to be completely honest with you. But they did say they do want to make some way of converting to EU, and then maybe possibly converting the EU and MJ back to RF. So when they could do that, that would be awesome. Anyways, this, I'm loving it. I'm really loving the new thermal expansion. I can't wait to get my hands dirty with it and get some nice systems pumping. Right now, I've been using a generator just with some petroleum that I found, because you can find a lot of it. And then I also have this geothermal connected to this portable tank, and I've just been bringing this portable tank down to where I know there's a lava lake. I don't want to run pipes to automatically fill this with lava just yet, just because I don't know where I am going to build these machines. I just put these here for now, just as in the interim, because I didn't want to actually just cook my ores in a regular furnace, because I wanted to double. As most people know, when you macerate a ore, it turns into 2 dust, and then those 2 dusts cook into 2 ingots. So I definitely didn't want to waste resources by just using a regular furnace. So I did want to set up a macerator and an electric furnace. So the next thing I probably want to do, maybe, is I probably want to set up something in the nether to start pumping lava. And then bringing that into probably like an ender tank or something like that to transport that lava into the overworld so I could start powering my systems. I want to get a nice little setup going with my machines so I'm able to automatically automatically go through and macerate and cook all my ores, because the problem I'm having right now is every time I go mining for more ores, with all the different types of ores, and as you can see, this is a lot, and this isn't even all of them. These are just ones that actually you can macerate. There's also, I still have a ton over here and everything. What I found is my inventory gets packed so quickly. So I really want to get going an automated smelting system, as well as a way that I could just keep like an ender bag on me and just drop my ores into that ender bag as I go. So as I go along, everything gets cooked up and gets out of my inventory, so I could go mining for longer. But I still have a little bit to go before I can get to that point. I still have copper is getting really hard to find. This is all I got from my last mining trip, and if you think about that, that's really not that much, because this is doubled. So I was only able to get, what is that, 42 pieces of copper in my last mining trip, which is really bad. Another problem that we have is since we started this world before thermal expansion, all the chunks that have already been generated doesn't have any of the thermal expansion ores, which it doesn't sound too bad until we start talking about ferrous, because I need ferrous to make Invar and to make a lot of these more advanced machines. So I still have a lot to the Invar. Where is it? It's over here somewhere. Invar, there you go. So I still have a lot of Invar to get, a lot of mining to do, but obviously I'm going to do that off camera. So I think that is enough for today, for our first episode. As I said, I am so happy to be back playing Feed the Beast. I can't wait to get things going. Next time, what I'll probably wind up doing is off camera, at least scoping out in the nether where I want to start pulling lava and maybe start setting that up. I'm not 100% sure if that's the route I'm going to go with the next episode, because it seems kind of early to start doing automated lava transfer, but at the same time, I feel like that's pretty important. So I want to start kind of get that going, because once I can get an automated smelting system going with my power being automated, I can start working on getting a quarry going, and then once I can get my quarry going, I'll start rolling in the resources. Anyways, as always, thanks for joining me. If you liked what you see, if you want to continue watching more of these videos, which I plan on doing a lot of, because there is a ton of things in this mod pack that I want to play. I want to start playing around with. If you want to see more of these videos, definitely subscribe. I'll try to put these out at least a couple times a week. It's not going to be way too often, just because a lot of work goes into these episodes. Like I said, I don't want to make a regular Let's Play like, oh, we're going to build a house, so let's build a house. I really don't want to do that. A lot of my episodes are going to be a lot of work going into it before I actually do my recording. So because of that, I won't be able to put them out as often as I want. But if you want to keep notified of when I put out a video, definitely subscribe. If you like what you see and you want to show your support, definitely throw a like down there at the bottom of the video. It really does help a lot. It helps get the word out, and it really makes the videos more visible. So if you like it, definitely like it. And I'll see you guys next time.